Late in the season, the Chiefs made a bold decision to shift Joe Thuney from left guard to left tackle, bringing in Mike Caliendo at left guard. With rookie Kingsley Suamataia and second-year lineman Wanya Morris struggling, combined with an injury to DJ Humphries, head coach Andy Reid believed this was their best move. Despite the makeshift left side of the line, Kansas City made it to the Super Bowl, but facing Philadelphia proved to be a step too far. The Eagles' defense didn't need to blitz to get through the Chiefs' offensive line. When they weren't penetrating, they were pushing the linemen into Patrick Mahomes. While it's tough to operate under those conditions, Mahomes didn't help his cause with a few misfires on questionable throws. Kansas City was down 10-0 at one point, and at that point, I didn't sense panic from the Chiefs. After all, every Super Bowl win in this era has required overcoming a 10-point deficit, but the game shifted when Cooper DeJean picked off one of Mahomes' errant passes and took it to the house, putting Philadelphia up 17-0. From that moment, the Eagles smelled blood in the water and didn't let up. By halftime, the Chiefs had run 20 offensive plays, with only 3 of them being runs. Running backs Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco had combined for just 3 yards in the first half, and with Kansas City playing catch-up, they leaned heavily on the passing game. With a 3-score lead, the Eagles knew the pass was coming and could tee off with their 4-man rush. It wasn't a fun night for Mahomes, who was hit 11 times and sacked 6. All the Chiefs needed was to sustain a drive and put points on the board, or simply pick up 1 first down. After Mahomes connected with Juju for 11 yards on the first play of the game, they didn't gain another first down for the rest of the half. As the Chiefs struggled, the Eagles picked up the pace, wearing down Kansas City's defense. By the middle of the third quarter, the Chiefs were in a position where they couldn't afford to punt, putting them on a short field. Despite the much talked about quarterback advantage for the Chiefs, Jalen Hurts outperformed Mahomes on the biggest stage. He spread the ball around to his weapons and ran when necessary, showing incredible poise and awareness throughout the game. That's the type of play that leads to success. Now the Chiefs turned their attention to the offseason. They set a franchise record with 15 regular season wins, but the finality of their Super Bowl loss comes with 2 hard truths. As they begin their offseason preparations in July, what will stick in people's minds about this season is that tough last outing, and with the three-peat dream now out of reach, it's hard to imagine they'll get another shot at it anytime soon. After all, as we saw on Sunday night, it's a reason why no team has ever pulled off a three-peat in NFL history. Sustaining greatness for that long is incredibly difficult. Heading into Sunday's game, we knew Kansas City would need to find ways to work around its offensive line challenges. After all, they had to shift an all-pro guard to tackle to cover up their left tackle spot, and right tackle hadn't been a strong suit either for them. On top of that, the defense was dealing with depth concerns at corner after trading away L'Jarius Sneed in the spring. What we also knew was that for the most part, Kansas City's key playmakers, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, Andy Reid, Steve Spagnuolo, and Matt Nagy, have been able to overcome whatever obstacles they've faced over the past few years, big or small. I even believed they would find a way to keep it close or even pull off a win at the end, but the Philadelphia Eagles were simply too much to handle, too big, too fast, too strong, and too disciplined to let the Chiefs pull off another comeback. Looking back, it's clear that even at their best, the Chiefs would have faced an uphill battle against that team. This franchise has been in this position before. 4 years ago, the Chiefs' offensive line got dominated by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the Super Bowl, and the front office responded by signing Joe Thuney, trading for Orlando Brown Jr., and drafting Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith. So I'd expect them to be aggressive once again in addressing the issues they faced this time around. Of course, none of that will make anyone feel better about a 40-22 loss that wasn't even as close as the score suggests. However, it does give a roadmap for how the team can bounce back from this defeat, especially for a franchise that's made it to the Super Bowl 5 times in the past 6 years. If Travis Kelce were to retire, how would they replace him? That's not just a question at tight end, where they're relatively secure with Noah Gray as a reliable option. It's also a broader question for the entire skill position group, especially with Hollywood Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, and DeAndre Hopkins all becoming free agents. If Kelce steps away, don't be surprised if the Chiefs make another move to add another top receiver. Which of their young stars will they prioritize re-signing? General manager Brett Veach has had a tremendous draft streak the last few years, and how the Chiefs handled impending free agents from the 2021 draft class and the 2022 draft class will be pivotal in shaping the future of this team. Additionally, if Trey Smith departs, it'll be interesting to see how much the Chiefs are willing to reinvest in an offense offensive line that had its ups and downs in 2024. That is going to be their main concern going into the offseason, is what they can do to upgrade their tackle positions. They're going to be faced with a tough task at having to pay Trey Smith, who is looking at being one of the highest paid guards in NFL history. He's going to get paid a bag, whether it's from the Chiefs or by somebody else in free agency. I would hate to have to go against a team that has him in the playoffs, but Trey Smith has been a key piece for the Chiefs these past few Super Bowls. And if he were to leave the Kansas City Chiefs, they would have to fill in for his spot when they already have questionable offensive line play. Brett Veach thought he had his answer with Kingsley Suamataia in the draft, but he was quickly subbed out in the second week against the Bengals. He really didn't get another shot throughout the season, and Wanya Morris was the primary tackle throughout the season. But against the Raiders, enough was enough when Mahomes was sacked 5 times. But again, in this game in the Super Bowl, with Tooney at left tackle, Mahomes was tackled 6 times, the most of his career. In the biggest game, Mahomes was let down. But again, this loss isn't just on the offensive line. Mahomes had questionable plays, some questionable turnovers, and he didn't get the ball really moving until the end of the game. I also believe the Chiefs need to move on from Matt Nagy. It's going to be hard to see Andy Reid move on from somebody that's not in his coaching tree. But Mahomes won his last MVP with Eric Bieniemy, both of them, and the Chiefs offense has found its most success with Eric Bieniemy. So I'm not saying go back and get Eric, but they need to move on from Matt Nagy. Mahomes even had that bomb to Xavier Worthy at the end of the game, and that's the style of football that Mahomes wants to play. His first few years in the league, that's the style of football we were so used to seeing the Kansas City Chiefs play. And during the Super Bowl era, the last phase that we saw the Chiefs, they were really doing that defensive run, slow style of offense. But hopefully this offseason and throughout the next few seasons, we see the Chiefs develop back into that explosive offense that we all know Mahomes wants to play, because Mahomes has the arm power and the talent to do it. So it's going to be interesting. The Chiefs have a ton of decisions that they have to make with free agency decisions and draft choices. They have to prioritize the offensive line. Their skill positions, I'm confident with Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice. The running back area has to get addressed as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do this offseason. Also, if they address the offensive coordinator. Let me know what you guys think down below. Were you guys surprised by the Super Bowl performance? I definitely was. And if you made it this far and you haven't already, make sure you go down below and you subscribe and you turn the notification bell on so you never miss a Chiefs video or any video at all. Leave a like as well. I greatly do appreciate it, and I'll see y'all in the next one.